Well, hello again, my friends, and welcome back to another fine episode of Carpo's Rambles, Carpo's Corner, 15-minute free thinking, call it what you want. I can't seem to decide on what I even want to talk about half the time, nor can I seem to decide what I want to call my channel, how I want to promote myself, how I want to run my business, who I want to work for, what I want to do. I'm very indecisive, and I can't figure out anything in life. Now, that might come as a surprise to some people who think that maybe I have things figured out. And that may come as no surprise to some of you who can tell I obviously don't. I mean, that's life. I don't know what I like. I don't know what I don't like. I figure these things out as I go. I mean, I obviously have favorites and like certain music, certain ideas. In fact, Papadosio, the hat I'm always wearing in my videos here, which is really cool because it has the album cover on the inside. You can't tell, but they're like really nice sketches. It's a hemp hat, and I don't know, I got it several years ago to show. They're coming tonight to Portland, and we're going to see them play, and it's going to be a fantastic concert. If anyone lives in Portland and sees this, it's at the Star Theater. It'll be a great show, and for me, whenever I get back from a the reason I bring that up is because I was thinking about whenever I've come back from concerts or events, I'm always uploading videos talking about them. I mean, a lot of the times I was wearing weird furry type, costumes or all decked out in beads and shit like that. And I thought, when I watch those in retrospect, I think, oh, I had a good time. But I'm like, God, I look like such an idiot. Like, that's what this video is about. That's what this discussion is about, is as a YouTuber, the brutal honest truth that it's like a cringe and a reward at the same time. You get to see the history and the way you felt at certain times, but you also don't always think you're at your best. Like when I upload a video and I've been, drinking, for example, and I act like a fool and say stupid shit. God, that's so lame. That usually only happens on a live cast because I don't consciously usually upload videos where I'm wasted or anything, but sometimes I do if I feel the topic was good. But the point being that in the past, years past, I found out that having a couple drinks would help me loosen up and help me maybe bring up topics that I ordinarily would be a little reluctant to discuss. And that would lead me to asking more questions about myself. Well, why don't I want to discuss those topics? And what is it about this societal problem that makes it hard to talk about? I think one of the most prominent aspects of that was the protests in 2020 in Portland that I filmed, and I edited and put together this whole video about the protest because I was literally front row. I was filming the whole thing. I brought down my camera equipment, and I knew some people who were going, and I filmed them and everyone else protesting. Then the cops corral us, gas us. This whole nightmare of an evening, even watching my oldest son get tackled to the ground and kicked by the cops, basically, and told that, yeah, we kill white boys too. The things that I saw at that time, I was so frustrated, and I put it online. And then I had a whole bunch of people who were angry with me and unsubscribed, which the point to it, it doesn't matter. I'm not here to gain everyone's favor. I talk about what I believe and how I feel, and I fucking don't hold back on that. You know that. But they were upset because they were focused on the ones who were breaking windows later on, or the kids who would get together with the hoodies and claim to be Antifa, these douchebags who would run around causing problems. And I agreed with them, but there was one point where I said, sometimes you have to break a few, what's the old saying? It's break a few, fuck, I can't even remember now. But I guess to get rid of the metaphor, it would be break a few windows to make a point. But I don't believe in, of course, destroying people's local businesses that they've worked for. That's a way out of line. So during this whole issue and filming all this and recording and talking about it and studying it, I started learning that people really weren't interested in understanding what anyone else felt or why they felt the way they felt. It was either you stand with this side or you stand with this side. And that continued to get worse and worse. And that's when YouTube really started changing for me. I feel like before 5 years ago, I could make a topic about anything. Now, I'm going to be brutally honest. What comes to mind is I made a video one time and I did a test. I used the N-word in a discussion. That video never got demonetized. I didn't monetize it. It never got deleted. It never got a copyright or a strike for hate speech or anything like that. I used the N-word in a video. It was in proper context to how rappers can say certain things and how it's not the same as the other. Today, if I even said that word, my video would be deleted and I'd have a strike against my channel. And that's fine. I understand that. People are sick of that word. It's a horrible word. But the point was that in the proper context, it had no hate or malevolent intent. And 5 years ago, you could say things that had no malevolent intent without being censored or having a strike against your channel. Today, that has completely changed, and I feel like that really has changed the way I feel about uploading and the way I feel about what I want to say versus what I can say. But I'll be straightforward in saying that there's nothing that I want to say that I can't say because of being censored. It's more of a concern of hurting people's feelings. And I think this is where we get to really the crux of the discussion here. We've got a lot of people who are very upset with historical oppression of their groups or of themselves, whatever it might be. And all of them are, legitimate. We have racial disparity. We have gay disparity. And, we have disparity in the prison system. We have problems everywhere. But it's only recently that this has brought us to the point where people are afraid to be honest with how they feel and even have normal discussions. And I think it's really holding us back. And I've seen this all change and unfold over the years. Kids who are, say, in their teens right now, they won't have seen this change. They won't understand it. And there is, I guess, an aspect where you could say, well, change is good. And no, change is not just good. Change can be good. But often things are the way they are because they've been that way for a long time and people are stubborn, yes. But sometimes they are the way they are because they've worked. And people haven't found a solution that's viable, that is an alternative solution. To give you a good example, it'd be alternative medicine. I think this would be the perfect one. Just, came to mind. I, as an herbalist myself, somebody who has sold herbs online for years. I sell kratom. I have mushroom, blends that I make myself. My wife and I were just talking because I have a friend who has an issue that I said may be helped by taking reishi mushroom extract, and which is Ganoderma. It's a phenomenal mushroom for all different types of, ailments and immune issues. And then you also have all these other really good, but rather expensive mushroom extracts, but you have to take them at large doses to be effective. And then there's the ones that work. And then there's the whole other side of the herbal market, the total bullshit part, where people say this does this and this will cure everything. And during the pandemic, there were, people were selling everything as a cure. And really it was just marketing, nothing more. Like, there's no evidence that anything that you have is going to cure a new virus. I mean, maybe, in the past certain things would have worked, but they weren't trying to sell you an idea of you should go out and buy this, but rather you should buy this from me because this is the cure. It's kind of a human nature thing that people want to bullshit other people whenever they can to get $1. And that bothers me, but there's not much you can do about it. Except try to expose the charlatans and liars whenever you see them. I had a guy leave a comment on a video earlier, actually, which was one I made about, it was called Scalar Energy Scam, Buyers Beware. And it was all based on this one guy that I met years ago who sent me some email about how he had, you send him a photo, he puts it in a machine, and then he can cure not only cure any ailment in your body, including herpes, AIDS, everything, but also assemble, quote, assemble 186 nutrients in your body. 186, I remember that your body needs. And he made this whole big bullshit claim. So I asked him, how does this device work? He's like, well, it works on scalar energy. So I did a bunch of research on scalar energy. And I was like, well, people don't even understand what that is or how to capture or measure it. How do you? And how was your machine brought to light? So we emailed back and forth until I asked questions about the machine or any type of evidence. He shut me out. I still go to this guy's YouTube channel 5 years later. Every time he posts a video, I say, please let us know how this works. Because I feel like I'm obligated to expose bullshit when I see it. Just my little small corner, right? My little sliver. But there's plenty of it to go around. So anyway, that's my Saturday ramble. I'll talk to y'all later. Be well, and be sure to check out my podcast, 15-Minute Free Thinking. If you want to be a patron, it's on Patreon and all that stuff, and I've got other content on there. Then I also have my other channel, Carpocraft, where I do guitars and small homes and all that stuff, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.